I stopped your streaming on the other one.
All right, cool.
Are you ready? I said, are you ready? Welcome to the show where the throttle stays twisted, the conversations stay loud, and freedom still means something.
Let me unmute him.
This is Throttle and Iron!
Oh yeah, let's go!
Headlights cutting through the night, chrome reflecting neon lights, miles behind us, miles ahead, living every word we've said, built on stories.
Welcome to the podcast, William Blaze, Kevin Indian 116, awesome. Jeff Maxwell's in the house. Yo, yo, yo. Only live once.
Fuel the dream, feed desire, ride hard, talk loud, live free, the way it's gotta be.
Mr. Blaze, aka Thunder Eagle.
Thunder Eagle.
Hello, everybody out there.
Look at this chat here.
Tuesday night we're bringing heat, every rider gets a seat, real talk, real roads.
Dan the Biker, welcome to the podcast.
From the people we know, from the mountains to the
Remember, we'll be doing polls tonight, so if you go to throttleandirons.com/live in the chat right now, you can be part of the freaking podcast. Also, if you have questions, you can answer questions here, and also tell us where you're from in there, and we'll put the map up at the end of the show, show everybody. It's the weather's improving here. It was pouring down rain and a little flooding here in the little Ohio Valley.
Well, it looks like Kev Indian 116 is getting it now.
Yep. Carlisle Customs is in the house. Great stuff. Check out his stuff on Facebook.
Yeah, he just put up a new post, and there's some really nice stuff on there.
Yep. I'm biased with that stuff. If I like people, I'll let them do it. But if somebody just comes in and just starts spamming stuff, Indian cards, bags, and all that stuff, I was like, nah, sorry, have a nice day. You just came in to start selling stuff and probably fake. Good evening, Tim Arnold. Welcome to the podcast. Don't forget to go to the website. We have some polls. I'll do one of the polls live here in a few minutes so people can actually start voting.
Hell yeah, let's go!
Shut up, man.
15 seconds. I need some patience.
All right, who's fighting over the member stuff tonight? Get to it.
Is it my turn?
I think it's Max's turn.
Yeah, Max, get it going. Welcome to the podcast, Flip and Zippo.
Howdy,
George.
everybody.
Yeah.
These are the monthly members. Tim Arnold, Our Indian Adventures, Mixed Boy 420, Bob Cole, Mr. BC Customs himself, Gator Mike, Great Sauce, Riding Fish, our good friend, Whales Divided, William Blaze, Tony Peoria, Kevin Tatum, Joshua Pfeiffer, Mike Sampaio, Indians Wandering Around, Iowa Donna. She's in there twice.
I know.
Doug Hampton, Terry Condon. Yeah. I thought you said you were going to take one of those out last week.
I did.
Two Rolling Stones, Bagger Legion, Tony G, Rumble and Growl, Rune Seeker Moto, Ed Body Snatchers Seidel, Kev Indian 116 RM, Casey Joe R, Wind Therapy Addict, Body Snatcher, again, double, Kev Indian 116, The Closer, Leland Smith, Bent Rim Podcast, Christopher 0587, Zan Biker, Cedar Key, Gnarly Zeus, Mike, Chris Wheelrosh, Murph Surf, sorry, Dark Soul Corner, Sick Bastard 71, Jay Lemert, 51, behind Rudy's Fairing, Alpha Tester, and Mr. Jeffrey Maxwell. Those are the monthly members, folks. You can be one too.
All
That's
right.
right.
As you guys do, we have a shop and we have lots of freaking merchandise. Go check it out at shop.throttleiron.com. Hey, if you're brand new to the podcast, there's one thing you need to do right now is subscribe. Don't forget. Anyway, check out some of this nice stuff. Now, I know the 108 looks a little crooked. Hey, it's not like that on the hat. It's for some reason with the company puts the image on there, it does that to them. So the hats are not nicer. You can see that. I don't know if anybody's wearing one of our hats or not, but we'll see. Well,
Nice,
all right.
Tim Arnold.
Tim Arnold, what'd he do? Eagle.
Yep.
All right.
That's pretty cool.
Awesome. All right. Anyway, welcome to the podcast, Robert. Welcome.
Hi,
Awesome.
everybody. How you doing?
Well, hello, sir.
You're great, man.
We've been
Good to see
chatting
you.
for over an hour. It should be like we should have filmed it.
Yeah, that was great. I want to thank you guys. It was a good night. All right, you're gonna take off.
Yeah. So the podcast is over. We're sorry. It's done. The conversation. We ran out of stuff to talk about. So
I ran out of lives.
And you-
We're done.
You guys ran out of something to talk about.
And you guys all missed it.
Mhm.
So let me start off here. Robert has been an industry insider for quite some time, and him and I go back a long way. Some of the departed, especially in the greater Cincinnati and northern Kentucky area, might remember this magazine that I used to write for back in the day in the early 2000s. I will refer to May 14th issue of Road Wheeler magazine and page 24 dealing with the V-Twin Expo 2014. The crown jewel of the whole expo for me was talking with Robert, who is the external relations manager for both Victory and Indian Motorcycle at that time. He's also a person very connected with the motorcycle industry who I communicate blog with on a semi-regular basis. He had just flown in from Chicago, unveiling a new motorcycle for Victory back then called the Gunner, which we remember fondly. He was impressed that we had a Victory owner on staff. That would have been one of our camera people back in the day. And we had test rode all the Indian models. So, Robert, you've written articles for our Hot Bike and Hot Bike Bagger and a number of other publications that are now, unfortunately, publications are gone. But man, you and I were active back in the day.
Man, I don't know if that's a jinx or not, but I wrote an article for Cycle World. They're closed now. Motorcyclist Magazine, I wrote an article for them. They're closed now. I think this podcast may not be on next week the way we're going right now.
Hold on a second. I gotta kick him off. Hold on a second.
Man. Can I get unemployment? I'm asking for a friend.
I don't think you need to worry, Chris, because that was all print. Print's gone. We can talk about the demise of print on another show.
Yeah, I do miss print. Yep.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, what are you going to do in the bathroom now? Just stare at your phone, right? That's gross.
Oh, that's what most people do.
Boring.
Yeah, it is boring, especially with your reading glasses out.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh, man.
Yeah, especially as old as we are. So Max, he's been jumping up. I mean, he's been. I sent a text out earlier today, and I said, "Here's the timeline that we're going to be going by." And he says, "Man, I don't get to talk to him." I was like, "Max," I was going to text him, but I wasn't going to text him. And I said, "You know what? I'm just going to let him sit and let him think that he's not going to talk to us."
I told him he could have 12 minutes toward the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All you can do is mute me. Go ahead.
I've done that already.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get a
And I
sound
made
check out
ample
there.
use of my sign language. Go ahead.
All right, let's get a sound check out there. George, thank you for getting this guy on here. George is in the chat right now. But how we sound? Do we need? Does anybody need to be louder? Connie, make sure your mic's close to you because I know some people say you talk a little low.
Oh, they don't need to hear me anyway.
But I think the sound's good tonight. Let me know, and we're good to go. And all right, so see who's all in chat. I mentioned everybody. We got more people joining as we go. This is a 2-hour podcast. We got plenty to talk about. And we're going to talk kind of at the beginning of the roots, and we can go off the rails Robert, we have this little thing on the side. I do that because of the 24 hours, 27 channel we got now. But we can go off a little bit, and I'll just click past it, and we're done with that one. That's subject. But this is not stage. We don't have questions for him. This is the way it's going to be. If you have a question for him, please go to throttleoniron.com/live, and I'll put it in the actual thing right here, and you guys can go there and ask the question, and I'll look at them, and we'll ask them at the very end. We can also look in the chat, and we'll try to answer as many as we can, but sometimes the chat goes so fast we can't remember them all. Mm-hmm. So the best way of doing it is get that question in there. All right, Robert, so how did it all start? What made you get into the motorcycle scene, man?
Oh man, I wrote a story for it was Ultimate Motorcycle, but it was like Rob Report Motorcycle, and it recounted when I was a kid and we had gone to California, and we were in front of Mann's Chinese Theater, except I was sitting on the left side of the car and I couldn't really, it was on the right, but this dude rolled up next to the rental station wagon, which I'm pretty sure had like a wood sticker on the side of it, right? And it rolled up next to the rental. My dad was driving, mom was in the passenger seat, my little brother was in the middle, and my sister on the side over here, and I'm stuck over here looking at traffic. And it was a dude on what I know now as a Harley Davidson. All I thought at the time, given my mother's reaction, was it was the devil himself, right? And it was this black motorcycle came rolling up, and the front forks were like just sitting there and idle. I mean, this thing was shaking, and what I know now is the throttle cable was just like this cable's like flapping around and all this stuff, and I looked like I was looking at his boots and all the way up, and the motorcycle's shaking away, and I got up to his face, and I sort of dared myself to look at this guy's face, and he was locked in right through the car window, right at me. He's looking at me, and he gave me this big toothy grin and blipped the throttle, and I about jumped out of my seat. And I remember I told that story for Rob Report Motorcycling, and they did a really cool illustration to go along with that. And I honestly think that experience like sat inside my head, and just sort of created that intrigue. And so anytime I ever saw a motorcycle, anytime I heard a loud engine, from that point forward, I was like, man, what is that? I want to know what that is. How do you operate it? I'm a throttle junkie, man. You give me the keys to a freight train and I want to drive the damn thing. So it's motorcycling is the easiest way to get into that gearhead life, and you just make friends for life when you do it. And that's I'm so fortunate to have had an entire life in motorcycling. I love it.
It's freaking awesome. So I looked up some of the history, and maybe some of this is fake, but did you ever go like work in dealerships too or anything, or?
That's fake. Oh man.
Don't
bust me on don't bust me. Right off the bat. Right off the bat. You hit me with the fake news stuff. Right off the bat, man. That's brutal.
Might as well get it out of the way.
Just get it out of the way.
Man. I did work I worked at a couple of dealerships. I had bought or I was really interested in Yamaha motorcycles, and I kept going into this Yamaha dealership. In the evening, I was a projectionist at a local movie theater, and so in the daytime, I had all the time, and I would go hang out at Forest Lane Yamaha out in Dallas. And I read every magazine every time it came out, even if I couldn't afford it. I'm at Barnes and Nobles, just like reading through all the pages, sitting on their footstool there, and so I knew the compression ratio of the valve stem and which brand blinker fluid was the best. I mean, I had it figured out, right? And I was just hanging out at the dealership all the time. And eventually this guy named Mike Cannon said, man, you should just work here. And so they hired me as a part-time sales guy. And I sold Yamaha motorcycles in the era of it was the very tail end of the tariff bikes. So there was the FZ 700 on the floor. There was the 86 VMAX. There was the Yamaha SRX 600, the Radian, which I ended up owning, the iconic FZ 600, FZR 1000. I mean, the Virago 535, which I still think they sell that
Yeah.
turd. Was on the floor. So it's like that was the hook. And then I moved down to Austin, and I ended up getting a job at Woods Motorcycle in Austin, Texas. And I was a service writer there, and I did a great job. I sold my fair share of that same blinker fluid, and
Ain't that the story?
and Italian air for Pirelli tires, and whatever it took to to do quality work, and really, I didn't sell BS. I mean, I'm kidding about that. I made sure that if somebody was getting a new tire, that we were looking at their chain, we were looking at their brake pads, and I try and save people money, so we're doing all the work at one time and things like that. And I really, that experience at Woods Fun Center on North Lamar in Austin, Texas, the old location, it was great. Met a lot of people, and and just kind of continued on. That's how I fell in love with the Honda CB1 and the Trans Alp, the first US one, and gosh, all the great motorcycles that came out of that era.
Yeah. So you mentioned the Dallas area, right? Did you ever spend any time over at Strokers?
I didn't, man. I wasn't cool enough, dude. I showed up in Dallas. I was on my Ron and Brian's sold me in Waukegan, Illinois. I'd moved down on a Suzuki GN 250. And I was not Strokers material, and I was as scared a rider and as stupid a rider as anybody could be, and I just literally, for me, it was utility, man. It was I couldn't afford a car, and it was how I got back and forth to work, and I rode it rain or shine, or it didn't matter. I had to go, and that little whatever it was, 14 horsepower 250, just got me through Dallas traffic and got me over to my job at Forest Lane Yamaha, where I ended up buying a Radian 600 1986 for $23.99. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And man, that motorcycle is the one that was the hyperdrive. I was like, the first time I hit an on-ramp in Dallas traffic, wow, the world changed.
Well, Rick Fairless would have accepted you. Now, his mom in the back, she might have booted you out. You just don't know.
I love Rick. I have through my career, I've had a chance to work with Rick directly. He has got one of the most incredible work ethics of anybody in this motorcycle industry. He is so customer centric. He adapts, he overcomes. He's been through tons of crap in his life, and he is absolutely a prince in this industry. And I'm proud that I've gone through this career, and I'm fortunate that I feel lucky when anybody remembers my name in motorcycling, and for a guy like Rick or Arlen or any of these guys to actually know my name is just an honor, and Rick is just fantastic. So
yeah, for sure.
There you go.
Come on, Max, keep on with the questions.
Well, the thing is, though,
You're
like
the
I said, Robert and I share a lot of the same experiences, because, as I said, I've interviewed Rick Fairless too. In fact, I've interviewed him twice in Dallas when I was there on business, and then when he came up here for the V-Twin Expo. Most of my contacts have been through the V-Twin Expo, but my contacts, as Robert will tell you, and as he has seen, are very wide and varied. So we're good. So the life experiences that motorcycling brings are astounding. Back me up on that, Robert.
Yeah,
100%, man. I mean, I'm 59 years old this year, and I've been fortunate to spend 3.5 decades in motorcycling, and I wouldn't change a minute of it. It's unbelievable. So,
Well, you and I are the same age. I'll be 59 in October.
damn, you guys are old.
well, it only gets worse, Les.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, Robert, I'm 10 years older than you are. I didn't know that.
Wow. All right, so it looks like we got some people coming in here. Hey, listen, if you guys can do me a favor, I know I'm looking at the. Let me see what we got here. We got 38 people watching now. We got 29 on the widescreen, 8 on the cell phone, but I only see 10 likes. What's going on, folks? Let's get the likes out there. Come on, get them.
Yeah,
going.
that's just my cousins. That's just my cousins, man. You know, so
Donna's in the house. Some of the information that you guys, we got the polls live right now, so go ahead and go in there and start voting, which is really cool. And if you have a question, please go in there and do the question also, and tell us where you're from. Tell us where you're from, because we got a map at the very end. It'll show where everybody's at, which is pretty cool. All right. So you have a freaking history, man, and I don't think we're going to be able to do one podcast. We might have to ask you to come back again. I hate to say that. I know you was wanting not to, but I'm telling you, if people,
he's been exposed to us now already. He's running.
Yeah,
started.
it's like
some of the stories that we were talking about before the hour, we really can't talk about now. But yeah, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so you were part of. I mean, we have a lot of Indian motorcycle riders here, but you were part of the 2000. Somebody became a new member. Welcome. Who was that? Awesome. Nice. Awesome stuff. It didn't show up on my thing, but I'll have to look and see who it was. But thank you.
It says Tim Arnold, member for 7 months.
Oh, 7 months. Awesome
Throttle
stuff.
Elite, it says.
Throttle Elite. Awesome stuff, man. Thank you.
Love this show, guys. Keep it up. Thank you, Tim Arnold.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. But you were there at the beginning where Polaris actually took over Indian, man, right?
Yeah, it sure was. Yeah.
What's your favorite bike that they released in? There's probably one, right? I'm just kidding.
There is one. No, there is one. Yeah, and I can tell you the story about that, but it's the Indian Springfield. And the Springfield is the most underrated Thunderstroke 111. You know, the aluminum chassis bikes is the most underrated bike they ever sold. It's best handling, most versatile. I mean, just fantastic motorcycle. And the Springfield owners know, man, it's like, you know, you got a little secret sauce in that chassis is a different geometry than either the Chief or any of the heavy touring bikes. So it's a fantastic motorcycle. So that's my favorite. But yeah, getting into the, you know, that gosh, it was 2011-ish that you know, the first sniffs of Indian motorcycle becoming part of Polaris, like sort of coming through the hallways, and a big secret, you know, and there's a handful of people know, and the Victory motorcycle PR guy had to know, because I ended up writing all the press releases and the sort of talking points for Scott Wine, and you know, diving into the expanding on the history that I already knew, but you know, going in deeper on that stuff, and the thing that was the first thing I had to do with Indian is I had to fight to be the PR manager for both Victory and Indian, which is an interesting story if you guys want to hear it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I'd been doing Victory PR. The first product I introduced was the Victory Vision, so you can imagine that was a heavy lift, literally. And so we'd been doing Victory Motorcycles PR, representing the motorcycles for different magazines, suggesting stories or doing you know, all that kind of work. You know, getting them into movies, getting them, you know, loaning them to Sonny Barger for his movie, and you know, all kinds of stuff that we've been doing with Victory at that point. Steve Minetto was tapped to, you know, lead the Victory towards the aftermarket Blackwell, and he was the one who was integrating Indian motorcycle into it. Now, nobody knew at that point that that operation from what was it, South Carolina? Is that right? Yeah, the operation from South Carolina was, or is it North? I always get those mixed up.
Kings Mountain.
Kings Mountain, yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody knew that Polaris had acquired that, and it was a big secret. And so Mark had sort of let me know what was happening there, and had polled me a little bit earlier. And then Minetto said that, Robert, we're going to need 2 different PR agencies, because Victory is a different brand than Indian, and we can't have the the same house, and my argument to him was, if you don't have a PR company that understands the difference between Victory and Indian, you're going to have two agencies that are fighting for the same square footage editorially. You're going to have, it's going to turn into backbiting. It's going to end up being a thing where it's like, like Cadillac making fun of a Corvette product. It's like, it doesn't make sense. They have to live together under the same house. So that argument won me the opportunity to be PR manager for both brands. I had a team and we divided up some responsibilities, but yeah, the launch of Indian Motorcycle, it was an incredibly small team that made. The team that made the decisions in that 2012, 2013, 2014 era, I swear to God, could fit in a minivan. It was small. And so that made us really live. And any of you watching out there that have been part of a company that has to make big decisions and make them quickly, and you learn from your mistakes and that energy is amazing, man. It's just, especially when you're doing something as historic as launching an Indian, relaunching Indian Motorcycle. And so yeah, getting to integrate those two things in a compelling way to create the Victory Press presentation, and the look and feel and the way you use the motorcycles was different from Indian. Launching Indian on the top of the museum in Sturgis was one of the most epic things we could possibly do. Surprising that nobody knew that the bagger was in the lineup. Nobody knew that there was a chieftain. There'd never been an Indian bagger before 2013.
That's right.
That didn't exist. So
that's right.
So yeah, so we that was probably the biggest secret that we had to maintain up there. We actually rented a crane to drop the 3 motorcycles on top of the museum in Sturgis. I don't know, Les or Max, were either of you guys there for that? Yeah. So
no, not for that unveiling. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
No,
so
neither was I for that one.
Yeah, so we had to rent a crane to drop the 3 motorcycles on the 3 corners of the museum facing where the stage was and everything at like 2 a.m, because we didn't want anyone to kind of see what these things were, right? And we set them up on these rotaries, and the chief revealed itself, sort of, beautiful, iconic, the red color. The vintage revealed itself, adding some leather, saddlebags. That's kind of expected, not a big stretch there. And then all of a sudden the chieftain rolled around in the middle, and nobody expected that bagger. And the very next day, I had a secret. All the week prior, we had 2 secret warehouses we were working with, one in Sturgis and one down in Rapid, and all the media had ridden Victory motorcycles in, and then half of our staff were changing our hats and shirts, and we were doing Indian responsibilities. And the next morning, they left the Alex Johnson Hotel, walked 2 blocks down, and there was a beautiful brick warehouse just loaded with Indian motorcycles, and we went out on that first press ride that next morning. So it was so much work, and so many truly amazing people did a lot of heavy lifting to make all that happen. So it's an incredible era.
Nice stuff. Great freaking story, man. Great story.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
those were the days.
Yeah. So, we have a lot of friends here, and then, we're not going to go down that road, but, how did it just take off? It was like doing 3-to-1 sales compared to Victory. How'd that all happen? It sounds like the Indian, just like everybody remembered the name, but there was never really a headliner motorcycle that was, since, 50 years or so.
Well, one of the things that we knew that we were going to have to fight was there was a bunch of hammerheads that would be like, they're going to do a stick an Indian logo on the side of a Victory, and blah, blah, it's just a grumpy gusses, right? And so So it was awesome kind of screwing with those guys and just like letting them have that, it's like, all right, just, because people were like, oh no, we gotta fight that message. I'm like, no. This is going to be like a Monty Python-esque cold fish to the face when the thing hits. They're going to be like, holy shit, that is no victory, And so anyway, they, that negativity ended up really fueling a lot of what was going on with our marketing campaign, which was called the Choice campaign. There's a new choice in American motorcycles. So some of you guys might remember those ads.
Yeah.
And we had diptych pictures where it'd be black and white picture of a Harley scene on one side and a color picture of the Indian on the other side. And there would be like sort of two different things. So it's sort of this challenging the status quo kind of messaging, right? And my favorite one, of course, is the one that I came up with, and it said on a black and white picture of a bunch of Harleys going down the road, it said black sheep. And on the other side was a single Indian motorcycle and a guy who looked like you and me, Max, a lot of this. And it said wolf across the top of his picture, right? And I remember one ad we did that was called the patch ad that went too far. And some of you guys may remember this ad, but it was a single page ad, and it was a guy's back, worn brown leather jacket, and he had a new Indian motorcycle patch on the back of his jacket, but you could see in a faint outline where the stitches of the old Harley bar and shield had been like cut off, and it was like sort of faded around where that was and stuff like that. And that one, what we learned was that went too far because we were telling people directly to replace their Harley with this new Indian. And in reality, what we were doing is saying like, oh no, this is just a new option that's out there.
Yeah.
And the coolest guy in 2014, when he rolled up his garage door, had a Harley and an Indian sitting there. And that was the sweet spot, man. And so we backed off from that sort of marketing campaign and really like went in on the quality and the handling and I think anybody who objectively looks back at that era, we surprised Harley Davidson, we surprised all the OEMs, we surprised the media with the audacity of coming out with a truly kick-ass motorcycle that was developed from a white sheet of paper in 2.5 years to come out with pre-production bikes that were that good that we were ready. Like the next morning, man, we were riding those bikes. It wasn't just like, hey, here's something pretty to look at and we'll talk about it for a few months. But we were riding those motorcycles, and it was a testament to the amount of engineering work and the design work and the commitment of Scott Wine and the Polaris board to do it right, and the heavy lifting of Steve Minetto and all the dealers who signed on and committed early to literally putting their name and their livelihood against this brand. I mean, that was the true commitment. And so to answer your question, a very long way around to answer your question.
Oh, you're good. You're filling the time in. This might be a 3-hour podcast. I'm just kidding.
Well, don't ask me about my high school prom, because that's going to be a 4-hour podcast at that point. But
We'll do that next.
So we
That's
rented a
awesome.
limo. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, the initial sales didn't really happen until 2014. There was a delay because everything we showed in Sturgis was pre-production. Every one of the demo bikes, every one of they all got crushed, believe it or not. All those motorcycles were destroyed. And the initial sales were not super fast, because we kind of didn't need them to be super fast, because it was important to make sure that the quality led the conversation, right?
Gotcha.
And it did. Our number one objective behind the scenes was to stop or pause people from putting a down payment on a new Harley Davidson, just to see what Indian Motorcycle was up to, because it had been the IMS season. The year before that was when we revealed, you might remember this, the sound of the Indian engine.
Oh, okay.
So that was my scheme on how do we stretch out this intro. We know we're going to drop the bikes in August of 2013. So in the fall of 2012, we had the International Motorcycle Shows tour around the country. Well, we can't show the engine. We can't show a concept drawing. So we literally had Mike Wolf, and we set up this semi-trailer with a custom, cool sound booth. And it presented the sound of the Indian, and it was genuinely the first Indian prototype engine. And it was a sound booth that like old guys would come in to break up kidney stones because it was just like, And
I need to go back in time.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah, we might be able to sell you that trailer, brother. So yeah. Anyway, it was a lot of fun to stretch that out. And then in Daytona, that's when we revealed the Spirit of Monroe, the Streamliner. That was powered by the Thunderstroke 111. We revealed the engine, and then we did the Streamliner because I couldn't stick it in some, chopper or whatever. You could already at that point you could already Photoshop the Thunderstroke 111 into the old King's mountain bike and have a general idea of what the thing was going to look like. But the concept motorcycle of the Spirit of Monroe, which was a whole other battle to get that made, was ironically you couldn't see the motor in the Spirit of Monroe, but but it was but it had a big Indian logo on the side of it, and that was the beginning of the partnership with Jack Daniels. Remember that it said bottles and throttles don't mix on the back of that bike, and we had Mike Wolf on stage to do that, and then that gave us the ability to sort of stretch out people's desire to put a deposit on a model year 2013 Harley Davidson just to wait and see what Indian was up to, and that was really the goal. So all this stuff, it's all you imagine what the future is going to look like, and then you plan it backwards. And so for 2011, what was our messaging for the final edition King's mountain bikes, and then and moving the line to Spirit Lake was a big deal, and all that stuff. So you plot where we knew we were going to launch, and somewhere around 2013. So how do we cut the messaging backwards in order to stay true to what the brand is, and not and be able to clobber all those guys who are like, they're just going to stick an Indian logo on the side of a Victory, And so,
That's a Polaris.
But now,
yeah,
Robert, I remember.
You're right. That was the other one. Oh, it's just a Polaris.
Polaris. I just remember one specific commercial, and it was a bunch of Harleys riding down the desert road this way. It was like a pack. And then you saw 3 or 4 guys on the Indian at the intersection waiting.
Yes.
Just watched them go by. He goes, ride your own ride. The other thing is about
the key
these
thing, Max, the key thing you're forgetting on that bit is like the Harley pack rode by, and then like the sort of mid-pack leader of the Harley group came to a stop.
Yeah. That's right.
And the Harley guy looked across to the lead guy and the Indian guy and kind of gave him the head nod to say, like, yeah, y'all can go ahead. Right. And it was a way of us sort of subtly saying, hey, we're part of this culture. We respect what Harley Davidson's doing, but some Harley people are going to be really willing to check out that. So that was the subtle thing in that. And that ad is still on YouTube.
I watched this a couple days ago.
That's great.
Hey, Max, before you say anything, I just want to let you know I got new software, and if Thunderstroke gets mentioned, it automatically mutes it. Just want to give you a heads up.
Well, that's all right. Get ready to mute me, because Robert, this is a constant battle, because these two have 25, 26 pursuits with the Power Plus in it, and that's great, wonderful bike. But let's not forget about the engine that started it all, the Thunderstroke 111 that rattles your teeth up to the 116. Those are the engines that got Indian off the ground to begin with. You can never forget that.
That's still my favorite engine, and which is also my OnlyFans handle. So Thunderstroke.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh my gosh.
Okay, it's after 8:30, so it's all good.
I'm gonna put that link in the chat for you guys. Let's kidding.
Please subscribe.
Oh no! It's all weird feet pics, right?
Yeah, you know, Steve Minetto came up with the name for the engine, Thunderstroke. That was all Steve Minetto.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
He said it can't be the Indian 111. It needed a name. It needed a personality, and Minetto came up with the name for that bike or for that engine, excuse me, and it stuck, man.
Mm-hmm. All right. The first poll is almost finished. The guys, it looks like only 9 people voted. We got like 50 people in there. Go to the website, vote. But I'm going to finish this one up in a minute. Sturgis 2006, where will you be? And it says most people are going to be watching it from our coverage. Awesome. Awesome stuff.
Ooh. 2026.
Yeah, 2026.
Yeah, 2006. It's like that is some delay.
Yeah, that's the Wayback Machine.
Actually, I skipped letters and crap. It sucks. But anyway.
Well, Chris skipped my poll questions entirely.
It might be on here. It might be on here.
Les is going to buy a new bike. What's the model going to be?
It's a 111. Just kidding. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, great stuff. I'll go get another poll here in a second so everybody can enjoy these polls. I like this interaction with our viewers and stuff like that. It's freaking awesome. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Please do so.
Yeah, Mike Skidmore on here says Thunderstroke ? My Buell is a thunderstorm.
Gotcha. Hey, he's been watching the podcast. Thank you for coming on here. I think this is like his 4th week in a row. Awesome stuff. Awesome. Thank you, man. All right. So do you think, I mean, we got a couple more minutes on this segment. Do you think Indian Motorcycle has been a success? How you feel about it? I mean,
you're asking me.
You're the one that was in you was there at the beginning, and I mean, it could have made it break it right then. I think you are a very big player in this, of making Indian actually a success, and I want to thank you for that, because you're the PR guy, you're doing all these commercials and getting all that stuff going, marketing, that kind of stuff. I mean, that's amazing work, and today, there's more Indians out on the road than there ever has been, I would imagine, and I mean, I was shopping. I told this story about a couple of weeks ago. There was a couple of Harley guys walking in. They were shopping, and I'd be like, "Yeah." I said, "We got a podcast. I'm trying to do that." I said, "Well, what do you ride, man?" I said, "I ride an Indian." I said, "What is that? 2000 bike or something?" Like, they don't even make Indians anymore. I mean, they didn't even know Indian was still, around. And this is just like 2026. You know, It's crazy how a lot of people don't know Indian is still not out there yet. It's really wild.
Well, these are probably the same guys who don't know which end of a condom to put on first, So it's,
wow.
I mean, if you
holy moly, okay.
Oh, jeez. But yeah.
But I mean, the truth of it is, I think if you paid, half a bit of attention to the motorcycle industry, you've seen Indian Motorcycle. Fundamentally, I think, how do you measure it as a success? It was a huge lift to do the right thing historically with the brand, to present technology, the aluminum frame, all the early electronics and all that sort of stuff. The powered windscreen on the Chieftain was a big deal, right? It was a huge lift to do all that sort of stuff, and it was a challenge to the incumbent number one brand. It was a challenge to the guys in Milwaukee. And if you look at what the Milwaukee product managers did and how they addressed that sort of thing, I think Indian was a success in proving that a modern American motorcycle could lean on history and heritage, but at the same time is not tied to history and heritage in that same way, right? It could present in a comfortable way, in the way like listening to John Cougar Mellencamp wearing a jeans jacket feels good, right? But and the reality is like the tech and the power and the handling and the stuff that was all underneath that skin was freaking Dave Grohl all day long, and it was just like that's so yes, it was a success there. You're gonna, it's easy for people to look at the numbers, and certainly Polaris' decision to if you look at Indian Motorcycle within the larger scale of what Polaris Industries was, in my opinion, it's a great opportunity for the brand to go back to that decision makers in a minivan situation. Because by the time I had left Indian Motorcycle, man, we couldn't fit all the decision makers in the biggest conference room at Polaris headquarters, right? And you guys know, if you're going to do a group ride, if there isn't one guy who's in charge of the group ride and everybody has an idea what's going to go on with the group ride, it's a total cluster. Total cluster. And so brands that sort of diffuse the decision making into too many people, which many brands have done that in the past, then you sort of lose that drive. You lose that unique vision, and I think that's really where Carrollwood, which is it's Indian Motorcycle now. It's just, and all the Polaris jokes are now muted at this point. But I think that's really I think really that's the opportunity for that new team led by Kennedy to get back into that small team, live, excited, respectful, position. And they've made a few stumbles and things that I do not agree with. But that being said, they are. I think they are in an interesting position with the products that they have. So, success. If you're a sales guy, how many did we sell today? That's a square number, right? But success, if you're a marketing guy, is like, how much did you? Just getting into stupid marketing talk, but how much did you widen the funnel and increase consideration for people to say, man, I could see one of those in my garage next to my Road King or next to my my Dyna or whatever. And I think that I think they have been a success there. The brand has stumbled with people have made mistakes along the way. There have been brand associations that I think didn't feel as authentic as they should have been. I am personally a little disappointed in the miss with some of the connection to things like the AMCA, to the members of the original Wrecking Crew, to the it's just some of the history and heritage. There should be an Indian Motorcycle reunion happening in Springfield, Massachusetts. I don't understand why that doesn't happen. I was like, some of that sort of stuff is like, to me, that's important stuff, and it hasn't presented itself that way. But I do think overall it's a success, but I think it can always be better.
Yeah, maybe in due time, all that stuff will happen. But I
let me ask one.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, let me ask one more question here. As you well know, the decision to axe the Victory brand and fold it into Indian upset a whole lot of people. Not in the grand scheme of things of numbers wise, but the people who own those Victories would not have traded 6 Harleys for those Victories. They absolutely loved them. What was going on in the insider days back then when all that was happening? Give us a little insight on what was happening with that thought process.
Well, I'll tell you that I was, obviously I'd spent 10 years, working on Victory motorcycles, building those stories, creating partnerships and that sort of thing. And the Victory, I thought, was in a really unique position. And my answer to it, which I don't know, I'm no business genius. I'm just some, schmuck who wrote a GN 250 for a while. But my answer to it is, I really wish that the Slingshot had been introduced as a Victory, because the Slingshot was introduced the same year as the new Indian, as the Chief. People forget that, but they were introduced at the same time. And had the Slingshot been brought in as a Victory motorcycle, it could have said Victory is now fundamentally changing the game, right? And if you look at the success of Can-Am and their Spider series, A bunch of people
Yes.
are going to crap on that thing and go like, I'd never ride that. Oh yeah, wait till you have a replacement hip, or you've got 2 new knees, or you've got somebody who absolutely won't get on a single track vehicle, but they will get on a sidecar or a 3-wheel vehicle just because of that inherent stability. But I had wished that Victory had been a Victory Slingshot, not a standalone. I understand why it was a standalone, but that was my sort of big idea. And Victory also, if you remember, at that same time, we were doing a lot of stuff with stunting. We were doing a lot of stuff with like land speed racing and Roland Sands and the Project 200. We were really getting into the performance stuff. And if you project that had Victory continued along its route, Victory could have been the leader in the performance bagger segment, could have been the leader in, bagger racing type stuff in today's thing. The entire Harley stunt culture grew, on the back end of Victory, going out. It like really exploded. It certainly had existed before that, but it really exploded in terms of, the transfer from sport bikes into Dyna Bros and all that kind of thing. And I honestly think there is a place for Victory motorcycles, in today's culture, but but that decision was made because if you were to put a microphone in front of a motorcyclist in Australia or South Africa or Korea or England, and you were to say, name American motorcycle brands, it would be Harley Davidson and Indian. That's what people would come up with. And the power, Scott Wine and Steve Minetto had to make a really, really hard choice. The power of the Indian motorcycle brand globally was significantly more than what Victory would ever be in terms of the brand, not the product, not necessarily the direction it could have gone. But when you're looking at a business case scenario, sometimes you got to make hard decisions, and that was a brutal one. So I absolutely feel for everybody out there who still rides Victory. In our 4-hour long preamble before this podcast started, I told you guys that if I was to buy a used, American motorcycle now, I'd buy a used cross country because it is a smoking deal right now to find a 15,000 mile cross country, which has terrific handling and comfort and capability and all that stuff. And I could spend all the rest of my money shipping my motorcycle around to go ride in Australia and England and Korea.
All right. What I got here right now, folks, I was going to, because a lot of people have been asking in the chat, so we're going to go watch this ourselves because I haven't even watched this video. And I'll get your opinion and what you think, Robert, and that kind of stuff. So let me get to the right thing here. I think I'll get this thing going. Hold on a second. Let me get the right sound here because I got the wrong setting here. So make sure I get this right here. There we go. Sound. I need a tech person. If anybody wants to put their application in, just let me know.
High school tech guy.
Yeah, high school. Okay, here we go. This should work now. Let me know if it's too loud. So I guess this is the new Signature series that they released today, the new painting that they're done.
There were 4 bikes, right?
Oh.
4 new bikes.
Is that guy wearing a Thrasher t-shirt?
That'd be pretty wild if it was. You want to rewind?
I think he was wearing a Thrasher skateboard magazine.
Let's do that again.
I was like, that guy was cool, man. That guy.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Is that what I said? Yeah, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, 4.
Okay. Signature series.
Yep.
I think that red and gray, that one is probably okay.
Yeah, this one right here is nice. I like it. The signature
I
series.
like the green one.
The green one, I like the green one
I
too.
do like the green. Not too sure about the white ones.
Now that one looks like a New England's Patriots.
Yeah, that looks like a 250 anniversary color.
Now I want to pause this for a second.
I like the chieftain.
All right, so
Well,
this
that's
is
the red, white, and blue.
yeah. We were talking about this one earlier,
Yeah.
guys, and tell me if everybody agrees in the chat. Okay, just put yes or no. Okay, you see the fairing. Do you think that it should have looked different? I don't think it. I don't know. It doesn't match the bike to me. I don't know. It's just weird. But anyway, we'll go forward. Put that in the chat, guys, and we'll see what everybody says. It looks almost like a classic Challenger.
Yeah, it does look like.
The paint job is. It's like it's
Vintage.
almost like vintage. Yeah, which is pretty wild.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to look at it on the big screen, but I like the first one, the black and red one, but I'm not a real big fan of the rest one. Yeah, and I'm old school, Connie. Green bikes are bad luck.
Yeah,
Just never
A
had
lot of-
one,
a lot of
never
people will say
wanted
that.
one.
yeah, I agree. Everybody says the same thing. They are bad luck.
I saw a lot of victories that were just badass looking that were that bright green.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what you think, Robert? What's your
Well, I
opinion?
don't know that green is bad luck because Kawasaki's the top selling brand in America right
Oh.
now. So
Yeah,
That's what I was writing.
Team
No
Green,
wonder.
yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So anyway, no, I think they're cool. I think the thing that you have to realize is that the motorcycles you're looking at now were probably the first ones that were sort of design directed aesthetically under Carolwood management, right? But you're not going to see significant technical changes or anything
Yeah.
like that. It takes a while to like to really do that sort of thing,
Mhm.
right? So the cost for a bodywork mold is insane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can't get it wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so as far as changes to the shape of the bike and stuff like that, I think it's going to take a while for that, for that sort of thing to happen. I think video is one of the worst things for colors, man. You cannot, if you truly are interested in these motorcycles, it is on you to go to a dealer, go to the demo area at Sturgis, see these things in the sunlight, because I don't know how many times I've thought a motorcycle was ugly, and then I saw the damn
Oh, I
thing
know.
out, and like all these like flat metallic grays and stuff that like kind of didn't look, or I was like, what is that, primer? And then you go out and you see it in the daylight, and the light is bouncing through the clear coat off the metallic underneath. It's just like, wow, that's got depth, and it's it's got like shadows right underneath the bright spots, and it's so I think it's really hard to judge these bikes on video.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give them that grace and say that just go see them live, and guarantee you they're going to have rows of them
Absolutely.
over in Sturgis anyway. So
Awesome stuff. I mean, I think they're nice. I think, like I said, the white ones just look very like, I don't know, classic motorcycles. I mean, it makes it the models look really old. But cool. I mean, one thing that's really cool about Indian, and we have a lot of Harley fans here too, and there's a lot of people in here that have Harleys in their garage also with Indians. Is that we ride together, we share the road together, and at the end of the day, at least we don't sleep together. But anyway, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh
But
my gosh.
I'm just saying we get along. We go to bike nights, but I'll tell you, there's more Indian motorcycle at bike nights than there used to be. I know the brand is getting success. I think the Carolwood, hopefully that works out for everybody. I mean, I hate to see, the couple of years that, I almost got a Harley Davidson. I was very close to getting a Harley Davidson. I did test rides and that kind of stuff, and I'm 6'3". That bike, that Challenger, just fit me better. And I was at stoplights and getting cramps every time I stopped when I test drove the Harley Davidson. It just didn't feel right. And I know you got to modify it. I know you got to put a new seat on it, new exhaust as soon as you get it, that kind of stuff. But
Handlebars.
the Indian just seems like when you guys designed that back in 2012 or 2014, when you guys were working on that stuff, you guys brought out bikes that are still here this day, and people are still buying them. And that's what I'm saying. That's the reason I put you as the voice of the comeback, back in the day. And
Thunderstrokes forever.
oh gosh,
Oh, God.
Oh my lord. Oh, Max just went on mute.
that's 3 strikes.
No, I didn't. But anyway, the whole thing is, okay, so again, you're talking about 2 different frames here. Okay, you're talking about the Thunderstroke frame and cradle. You're talking about the Power Plus frame and cradle. Being 6'3", you are going to be more comfortable on the Power Plus versus the Thunderstroke. I'm surprised you didn't feel cramped on the Thunderstroke because the dimensions of that frame and cradle are exactly the same as the Harley Davidson is. I thought I'd feel cramped on it because I felt cramped on Harley Davidson. And I didn't once I made some adjustments. But, you're talking about oranges and tangerines here.
Speak of that, guess what my first bike was, Robert? I just started riding like 3 years ago.
Your first bike would have been a Christmas special Z50. No,
No, the competitor you said a while ago.
I was going to say Vespa.
Okay, maybe I missed the mark. Did it have wooden wheels?
It was actually a Vulcan S, and it was that green color. So yeah.
Oh yeah,
Kawasaki,
that
man.
was a cool bike.
And
that's 650. That one had the adjustable foot controls and stuff.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
My wife hated McGillicuddy comes walking into the dealership over here going, and they're like, "Don't watch your head on the door on the way in. We got the perfect bike for you right over here, sir." So, yeah, that's cool. I could see why you'd get onto that. Yeah, it fits. Yeah.
Yeah, my wife hated it. We had to get rid of it.
I liked it. It just didn't. It didn't have mid controls.
Yeah,
Okay?
it didn't have close enough mid.
No matter
mid-controls.
how far you.
She
did
likes
the
her feet behind her
reduced.
ass. You know
I'm
what I'm saying?
a dirt person. I rode dirt
Connie.
bikes. What?
All
Hey,
right.
Connie.
Uh-huh.
Connie. Wah.
Wow, wow, wow.
Hey, Les.
So
What?
So one of our polls here is what would actually get new riders on 2 wheels, and one of the things is cheaper, smaller starter bikes, which a lot of people, a couple of people voted for that. Easier licensing and training. Yeah, I mean that's one of the biggest. That was actually ruling the roost a while ago, but more practice. More places to safely learn. And I'll tell you what, the best places to learn are to get a church parking lot. Get you some cones. Go to
You're closer
Walmart.
to God that way if something happens.
Yeah,
Trust me.
get some cones out there on that part. Yeah, so if something happens, somebody's going to be looking out for you right
That's
there.
where I always practiced.
Yeah. So, go there, your favorite church. Go there, ask them for permission if you want to, but I'm sure they'll let you go there. Put some cones in there, do some figure eights, learn how to ride that bad boy. But never forget, it doesn't matter how good you are on a bike, always look ahead. Don't get distracted. That's where most of the people forget, is that they think they're freaking badass riders when somebody pulls out in front of them, and they just wasn't that badass to get out of the way. So always remember. All right, let's go back to Give a Shift. So tell me a little bit about that. What was all that kind of stuff?
Oh, Give a Shift. All right. Well, this is kind of an inside industry thing, and I don't think the broader consumer out there actually ever really saw this thing that much. But that's okay. But the point was within the industry, and I'll back up. So when I went to college, I got a degree in photography and art in the art school, and part of getting a degree in art is you sit in a room and you go through a crit. Short for criticism, and your classmates look at your work and they go like, I see the story you were trying to tell here, but it would have been better if you had ... right? Or I would understand it better. I would agree with you more if you had expressed it this way. All right. The point of that is not to say you suck as a photographer. The point of that is to say, like, how can the class make you better? That does not happen enough in the motorcycle industry. And the brands, to this day, the brands are far too siloed in how they operate and how they work. The closest you get to brand alignment to elevate a category is in motocross, as far as I'm concerned, right? You got, whether you're team orange or blue or red or yellow or green, it doesn't matter. You've got, or gas or Husqvarna or whatever, you've got, everybody's like kind of cheering for the same element, right? The biggest drawback to motorcycle, and this goes back to what you were just saying, Chris, but one of the biggest drawbacks in motorcycling is all of those of us who have tens of thousands of miles, and we know we know the torque settings for all
Mm-hmm.
our stuff, and we know, we can argue which is the right oil for this and that and all that other sort of stuff. We don't take the time to mentor somebody new coming in and see them through those initial lumps, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's some of what we talked about in Give a Shift, which was this industry initiative. It was a round table of a bunch of industry professionals, names names you maybe didn't, but the point was to create a report that anybody in the motorcycle industry could read. It was free for anybody, right? So some of the MIC, which I've had challenges with in the past, but the MIC, you got to be a member in order to see the data, and then you're not allowed to share it. And so again, it like reinforces this siloing of the industry, which I hate. And so the whole point of Give a Shift was to get smart, committed, enthusiastic motorcycle people together in a room in the way that most of us think happens, but doesn't. And
Gotcha.
so to sit in a room and talk about these issues, and we came up with real key issues, like one of them was like, mind you, this was like freaking 9 years ago when we did this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So one was like, how do motorcycles fit in an increasingly autonomous vehicle landscape? We were talking about that 9 years ago. So what happens when diamond lanes go from being commuter, group sharing lanes where motorcycles are allowed to kind of ride in a diamond lane or a express lane? What happens when the diamond lane turns into an autonomous vehicle only lane, which can happen because now the motorcycle is an anomaly in that scenario. And guess whose fault it is in an accident, regardless of whose fault it is in an accident? The motorcyclist will always get blamed. We will get legislated out. And that's not fantasy. That's going to happen. Okay. And so talking about those sorts of issues, as an industry, as a collective of enthusiasts who wear this logo or that one, or I get dirty on the weekend, or I like doing burnouts, or I like to tour, whoever that is, having that industry discuss it as a group and then be able to turn around to Congress and be able to turn around to legislators or the insurance industry or the autonomous vehicle industry and that sort of thing, and have a collective voice in those key issues. And then turn around on the weekend and go dirt bike riding, go customize your Harley, go do all that sort of thing. We can all go do our own thing, but there is not enough horsepower as a collective industry, and we are going to lose our own voice as quickly as things change, and as much as legislators get manipulated by money and by these other things. We are a small voice as a bunch of individual brands, but when a group of motorcyclists get together, as you see on Love Ride, or you see on Rolling Thunder, or you see at Sturgis, or you see at heck, go back to when they used to race dirt bikes on Catalina Island, and there was like an invasion of 1,000 dirt bikes coming to Catalina Island. That's the power we truly have as a community, and it's a language we all understand. And it is a crime when OEMs and the industry don't get together to talk about this stuff, to elevate up these conversations, so that we can then all speak from the same key talking points to tackle this thing, all the way from a city council meeting on free motorcycle park. Every public parking space has weird triangular, corner spots, right? Why aren't motorcycles allowed to park there for free?
Gotcha.
in a paid parking at the airport or whatever. Why? We don't take up room. Where it's no skin off their nose. And I just don't understand why those things aren't. So that was the point of Give a Shift. And I get riled up about that because I wish that we had our crap together enough to sit in a room, figure out 5 key things and other opportunities to elevate all of motorcycling. And then for that to go out and then meet again a year later. How did we do? What's the next thing?
Makes sense, man. It really does.
Yes, it does. Very much so.
They need to do more of that. Tell you the truth. Yeah, that's the reason why I thought this was going to be such a great podcast. I mean, you have a ton of freaking knowledge, man. I'll tell you what, when George said, hey, you need to get this guy out, and he gave me a bunch of different names and I said, okay, no problem. And for some reason, your name just kept on Robert. And I looked at you on LinkedIn and that kind of stuff, and it's like, you know what? I'm just going to send him a text, see what he says. And yeah, I'm glad you came on here, man. I really appreciate it.
You know, if Gatto gave me a bunch of different names, my guess is it would be, well, Robert Pandya, but you can also call him Jackass and Scumbag and, you know,
Man.
Oh, Jesus.
I love that guy. He's so smart, and he's so committed.
Very
to,
passionate.
The motorcycle. Amazing guy. Amazing guy.
And he has kind of the same kind of concept that you have with the dealer association he has.
NPDA is huge. Yeah.
Yeah, it's freaking huge and awesome stuff. We need to get some of them members on here so they can explain what's going on with that. But I think that's pretty cool. All right, so as you guys can see, our top chatter is Kevin. I don't know what happened to William Blaze tonight. He's not there, man. So
yes, he is. We've been talking.
Yeah, he's right there at 32.
He's number 3. Will's Divide is number 4. Man, you guys are chatting in there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Number 5 is Donna. And then we got Mike Skidwell as the number 6, and Rune Seeker, which is Jason. Check out he's trying to do some YouTube stuff too. So check out his username. Go follow him. Subscribe to his channel. Great guy. We got
what happened to Muff Buster or whoever that guy was? What happened to that?
I don't know. He disappeared on us.
Yeah, he fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah,
he changed his handle to Muff Diver.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah,
man.
All right. Oh, he's busy.
See, after 8:30, it all goes downhill.
Dive at 5.
I see Rumble and Growl on here tonight. Thank you for being on. Hey, we got to figure out if you're going to Mid-America. So let us know. I'll be out tomorrow. Maybe I'll text you and see what's going on with that. All right. So let's pass this segment here. Let's go to the next one. We already talked about the polls. I'll start the next poll here in a second. So before we go to Buffalo, Chip, because I know you got a lot of history there, and you got a lot of history because we were talking about earlier. So speaking of almost in this, what we were talking about, give a shift. What, in your words, because you've been in this motorcycle event, motorcycle legacy forever.
World.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? What do you think, what the people, and for the future, I can't even talk for some reason. We go a little slower. What do you think about the future to get younger riders out? I think they are coming out. Do you think the Croc rockets on YouTube going 150 miles per hour to 200 miles per hour is the right thing? Or what do you think for a PR and marketing guy, are we doing the right things to get younger riders out there?
Well, it's funny. Everything is cyclic, right? In fashion and in the way we communicate and stuff like that, things go up and down in cycles. And when you think about what was the start of the chopper industry, and these veterans coming back from World War II, buying up surplus motorcycles, chopping the fenders and doing all the custom work, and then the legacy of Hollister and the Life magazine cover, and all these badass bikers who are destroying America and blah blah blah. Now all those guys are the grandpas who are buying their second Can-Am if they're riding at all, right?
Yeah.
The whining about a few idiot sport bike riders or a few 12-year-old kids who are doing wheelies on electric bikes through the subdivision it's just so ironic that these same people who will celebrate freedom and individuality and will say like, wow, my kids should be looking at screens too much, they should be outside enjoying nature, but not doing a wheelie across mine, shame, right? And it's just like, God, man, this is, what the hell, what is it you want out there, And I think that there's always going to be, there's always people who are the worst example. In modern communication, you can take a video, you can slap it up on some, TikTok thing, you can do some stupid music behind it, and you can just have a bunch of commenters who just love to crap on everything that's happening in the world. The reality is sport bike sales are up because young people who are sick and tired of looking at a screen or having to, study on an iPad are wanting to interact with air. They want to get out. They want to feel the same exact thing that we preach every day. And they're doing it in a different way. Maybe you don't like their crotch rocket. Maybe your replacement knees can't handle getting your heels up past your butt like Connie likes to ride apparently. But that is it's a good look. It's a good look. But my point is like, those of us who preach freedom and the open road and loud pipes save lives and all that other sort of stuff, it's like, man, this is a new version of that. And it's our opportunity right now, again, going back to what I said before, mentor this rider, talk about rider training, talk about group etiquette, instead of bitching or kicking them out of a subdivision, instead of that, go find the the empty factory lot and clean it up. A bunch of dads and lads get out there, clean it all up, and give these kids a place to ride, just like a skate park. It's the exact same thing. Give them a place to learn how to go wheelie, to learn how to do seminars on how do you adjust a chain, how do you replace a head gasket on an XR100 that you bought off of Facebook Marketplace, right? Yeah. And that's the level of mentoring, and that's the sort of thing that as a community we can imagine, we can do. We've been there, and it's all coming back around again. It's just in a different flavor, man. That's all it is. People used to freak out because Elvis shook his ass or his hips on the Ed Sullivan Show, and it's like, my God, at this point, I can, you know what Cardi B's blood type is from watching a video. It's like, holy crap, So, the expression of freedom has changed. For anybody living in this country to want to damp that down, it's like you just don't get it. Yeah. And that is where we have to sit back as grumpy old men and women, or as the neighborhood Karen and Ken, or thinking that the only legitimate motorcycle is black and chrome and was had an engine built in York, Pennsylvania, and everything else is a piece of crap. You have to get out of that to understand that the world is changing, but it's all the same still. It's all the same. And that's what I hope people step up to do. So that was a long thing, man.
You're good.
That was an extended B-side on
It's all good.
Max is going to sleep here soon, so we're just gonna keep him up. I'm just kidding. He always complains the podcast is too long. I like it where it is. It's awesome. Hey, I do want to make an announcement. Rumble and Growl did it again. My gosh, I can't thank this guy enough. 10 freaking gifted freaking subscribes or members. Oh, yeah, good job. I missed it the last 2 times he did it, and I thanked him right after the freaking podcast, and I was like, man, I got to do it live, so I had to break in there. But anyway,
we got some sponsors too.
Yeah, sponsors. Well, that's what he did. That's what he does. He does the sponsorship.
Yeah, he's sponsored.
Yeah, he's awesome. Great job, Rumble Growl.
Yeah,
freaking awesome. Hey, what you just said, Robert, man, is the truth. I watch him on YouTube. I see him doing it. I think it's fun. I don't think it's, because now they go after him. They're going after him. They find out where they're at. Some of these police officers go after him, but I mean, you're right. It's time to get out of the freaking house and you get on 2 wheels. I mean, I see just on the news article just a couple days ago, whereas these towns are now saying there's too many electrical bikes out.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Oh my gosh! And we're gonna have to find them if they're riding after so many hours
on the sidewalk.
And 3 strikes. We're gonna confiscate the e-bike. I was like, are you serious? I mean, the politics and fun is just ridiculous.
Let's just imagine when I was a kid growing up in Waukegan, Illinois. If I didn't have access to a bicycle, I couldn't pedal the 8 miles across to go to Six Flags Great America and work in the games department and make my money. right?
Yeah.
My first job was Chuck E. Cheese, but that's a much more embarrassing story. So, but anyway,
That's an interesting
but
story. Let's hear
the
it.
bicycle gave me the radius to move
Yeah.
around before I could afford a car and before I
Mhm.
could deal with all that stuff. The bicycle for a kid in this era, an electric bicycle has a radius of freaking 40 miles, right? And
Yeah.
and you can arrive at work not sweaty because
Mhm.
you had an electric motor help you get there, right?
Yep.
And it can fundamentally change the direction of a kid's life, particularly kids who are underprivileged, kids who
Yep.
don't have access to, buses or community, or an aunt and uncle who can drive them around, or because everybody has to work 15 jobs to we got to pay the billionaires, right? It's how it works, I think. But anyway, that's really the when you take a wider picture on this thing and you teach kids how to ride, you're teaching them how to live, and that's our
Yep.
opportunity as mentors to teach that responsibility, to teach consequence of action, and that's been part of what's missing, in our world, and motorcyclists get it before other people do. I truly believe that.
100%. Hey, all right. So I think this is going to be like almost an advertisement for a buffalo chip, but I've never been there before. There's a reason why I put it there, because you actually were part of the team there at one time.
Yeah.
And if there's anybody in here that's going to Sturgis, let us know. Put the big thumbs up in the chat, because we're going to be there. We're going to be at Indian Motorcycles on Sunday at 11 a.m. We're going to be doing either a recorded or a live podcast. We'll see how the Verizon network is there. I might have to get AT&T, because Verizon seems like every time I go to some event, Verizon's just like slow as molasses. But we'll see how AT&T. Maybe I'll have to do AT&T. But anyway, so the buffalo chip. Tell us a little bit of history, because I thought it was pretty wild how it got started.
Well, I think a lot of people know it, so I'll be real quick on this. But 45 years ago, the city of Sturgis banned bikers from camping in the city park. Right? They got tired of dealing with it, and Woody, being a lawyer and having defended some of these guys from issues that they had dealt with in the rally, said, well, I know a farmer guy down the street who's got some space, and so let me talk to him. And he rented a field. The reason it's called the Buffalo Chip is because it was full of cow crap, right? And so so they cleared that out and as much as they could, and they literally built latrines, and they dragged a flatbed trailer out into the middle of the field and powered it up with generators or gerbils in a cage or whatever the technology was back then, and they put on a concert, they sold beer, and they let people camp, and it was a keg party out in the field, and all credit to Woody and the Woodruff family, and not only that, but man, just the amount of staff it takes. They go from a staff of 15, 18 people through the course of the year to hundreds to serve the customers, right? So you can imagine ramping up, training all that stuff, and then winding it back. It's really incredible. He's been doing it for 45 years, and they turned Sturgis, the Woody single-handedly turned the Buffalo Chip and Sturgis into a legitimate concert venue. Instead of being a Midwestern flyover state, it is a legitimate stop on the way. And the way he did it is he would see the tour schedule. Oh, this band is playing this weekend in Chicago, and they're playing this next weekend in Salt Lake City. Well, guess what's in the middle, kids? Like, let's book them in on Wednesday on their way through, and it all worked out. And he's a true powerhouse. And if the Sturgis Rally ever had its own Mount Rushmore of bikers, you'd have like Willie G, like Woody would be up there. You'd have
Pappy.
Pappy. That's why. Thank you. I was struggling with that. Pappy. I mean, it would be, and Woody would have to be up there, man. He would have to be up there. So,
yes, he would.
So that's where it is, and they call it the best party anywhere. And I was the COO, so I was like 2 parties ahead, right? Meaning I had to make sure that there was enough toilet paper in the porta potties, and like that, so it
Yeah.
wasn't as much a party for me, but I had to make sure that that it could get handled, when the party caught up to where I had been. So but it was it was an incredible experience living out there. The Black Hills, honestly, even if you don't go during rally or you're allergic to crowds, I'm not a particularly religious person, but the Black Hills are spiritual. There is something in the Black Hills that are incredible. And Chris, I'm telling you, just don't waddle down Main Street. You have to get lost in the Black Hills. You get up early, get up 5:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, because God knows the sun's up by then anyway. So you might as well get moving. Get your ass moving and go ride Needles Highway first thing in the morning and just be there. It's incredible, man. And if you get to do it outside a rally, it's to me, it's even more spectacular. So
Yeah.
that's what I have to
Don't
say
worry,
about
Robert. Les is in charge. Les will get him up and moving. Trust me. Because that man over there likes to ride.
He likes to drink coffee.
Yeah.
I would say that
Full
the
pot.
number one thing that's really cool about the Buffalo Chip is no matter what kind of biker you are, or if you're a neophyte, or if you're a female rider, there's a place for you at the Chip. And the Chip is not just like, there are certain campgrounds that are like one vibe. The entire campground is one vibe. And after 3 or 4 days, you're like, yeah, all right, I don't need to see any more of that, right? And Glencoe. And but the Buffalo Chip has, if there's like a bar that's like sort of a metal biker bar. There's like a sports bar vibe. There's a Bikini Beach where you could just like chill out and swim all day, with a margarita in your hand all day long if you want. There's custom bike shows. There's art shows with motorcycles as art. So the Buffalo Chip, if you're going to pick one spot and you want the most variety, that's the place to go. So that's my advertisement. I won't go past that.
Yeah, I got a new insurance policy a couple of weeks ago, and I've been telling my wife how well and how maintained the Buffalo is out there. And I was like, yeah, go out there and you just pet them. They're nice and friendly and stuff like that.
Are you nuts? Are you crazy?
So Connie's worked up. She's ready to go.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Robert, I've made it a point for the last week and a half to send him every video, every news story of Buffalo tossing people 20 feet up in the air and stomping them flat and everything else. Please, people, whatever you do out there, do not underestimate the power of the wildlife out there. You are in their yard. You're not playing in your yard. You're playing in their yard.
Yeah, be sure to wear a red
buffalo. Shirt. No, don't.
Do not touch. Don't pet the fluffy cows. That is a rule.
No, leave the fluffy cows alone.
That's the only collar shirt I got Connie to wear.
You
on
did.
The trip. Yeah,
You're
all
such
red.
An ass.
Yeah. Oh, so funny. So funny. Ouch. All right, cool. All right. So we're at the very end. We thought we were going to have some some questions, but man, I'll tell you what, we pretty much answered them as we were going through. Wheels Divided did have one. He was just talking about the signature series. That's the reason why I put it out there. We do have a poll. We have one more poll after this. But go check it out. If you guys want to do me a favor, let me see if I can get it real quick. As you guys know, you can get the Throttle and Iron out there 24/7, 7 days a week now, in your garage, at your bar, at the work. I mean, it's pretty wild how I got this thing working. I'm going to give you guys a link to it here in a second, and you guys can go there and subscribe.
Just like MTV.
Yeah.
24-hour video. All day, every day.
Yeah. And this one will be on there tonight. We'll add it to the rotation, and it's going to be a great one of the best podcasts. I mean, this is a great one. I was going to ask Robert, man, why don't you just be one of the hosts? Just come on here and we'll talk every freaking week, because this has been fun. But check out the YouTube link right there, guys. Subscribe to the 24-hour channel. And hey, it's what's really cool. It's got a live chat there all the time, so you can actually chat with your friends or whoever's watching at the same time. You go to the garage, turn it on, listen to all of our reruns throughout the year. I think I got 16 days worth of videos And we have 2-hour podcasts. I mean, what are you going to do with that stuff? So I said, I'm not going to leave it on the shelf. I'm just going to put it on 24 hours a day. It's going to be great. Check it out. Hopefully you guys like it. I think it's a good asset. As a matter of fact, I think since I put it out there, we've had 10 subscribers come from that channel so far, which is pretty cool. So
now all you have to do is take your AI stuff, put a moon man on a motorcycle with a flag that flashes, throttle and iron in multicolors.
My what is it? Was my MTV?
T and I.
Too much. Too much.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. So, all right. So, have we hit everything you wanted to talk about, or are we going to do a part 2 there, Robert?
Oh man, I'm happy to come on anytime I get to talk to like real enthusiasts. You know, anytime anybody has a genuine, authentic opinion, I love being around that. I think there are people who just like to, stir the mud and just kind of like watch what happens. But I think the reality is we all do give a crap. We if we see a brother or sister on the side of the road that needs some help, we will stop and help. So I mean, be the best motorcyclist you can be out there. Be a mentor. Elevate it. And I mean, as far as other stuff to talk about, there's a million other things to talk about, man.
Oh, yeah, we can talk.
Prom.
Oh,
I haven't talked about my prom experience.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about
But you
what
know
kind
what?
of bikes you ride right now. Are you riding any bikes, or what'd you get?
Oh no, I'm scared of them. I don't ride motorcycles. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we got a person on here that doesn't even ride motorcycles anymore, folks. We just want to let you know.
Yeah, I have 15 motorcycles in the collection right now, and I treat my garage like it's a Leatherman tool. So, what tool do you need? You just pull the right one out, and go spend some time on 2 wheels. So I'm fortunate. I'm blessed. I'm lucky to get to work on my own motorcycles in a little bit of a shop space and build custom motorcycles and ride dirt bikes and ride adventure bikes. And I am not biased, man. So I'm very fortunate to be part of a lot of different communities out there.
Yeah. I know we were talking about earlier today, and this is one I didn't even know this bike exists. As you guys look it up, the Core.
Yeah.
This is a badass looking bike.
What is it?
It's a Victory Core. I wish I could get it to go
It's a
larger.
concept bike.
It's a concept bike.
Oh, wow.
Back in the day, it's way before its time. But man, look at that beautiful thing. I know we were talking about that before. Yeah.
The thing that doesn't present itself in just looking at the pictures is everything you see there that's like the gunmetal color, that is cast aluminum.
Wow.
The gas tank is cast. The swing arm is cast. The chin fairing is all cast aluminum. And it was incredible design work by the design team at Victory, and it was a proof of concept. And the quick story on how this concept even started is you guys remember the Victory Vision was the first bike with the big aluminum frame on it, right? And the engineers had a test bike where they were testing other things, but they didn't have the gas tank on it. So they capped off the frame and would pour like a gallon of gas into the frame. And the designer guys saw that, and they're like, "What the hell is that?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's just a lot quicker for doing this engine testing stuff or whatever they were doing." And that concept blew up into what you see here. And inside the cast gas tank was the fuel pump and all that. So you can imagine the complexity of that design. It was really way ahead of its time. Amazing stuff.
Absolutely.
Awesome bike.
Now I'll tell you something, guys. If you look at that picture real close, tell me you don't see the similarities of what an arch motorcycle looks like compared to that.
Oh yeah,
they
absolutely.
Look a lot alike.
And
I think there's going to need to be like a Victory and Buell like sort of commiseration session, like the Victory guys and the Buell guys just need to hang out in a bar together and just like have one big group hug is going to be necessary, right? Because it's like two fantastic American brands that still to this day, elicit emotion and speak to style and American ingenuity. I love them both.
Yeah, that's a bad looking.
That's a bar gathering I want to go to. That's a bar gathering I need to be at.
But you know, as you
You
look at
might
the
need to bring some
frame,
Kleenex.
it literally looks like
Yeah.
a V as in victory. You know, it's just the way it looks, how it's sharp and angles are compared to the top of the gas tank and stuff like that. Just makes you look like it's a V as in victory. You know, it's
Yeah,
pretty
the
cool.
broader concept was to be
Mhm.
able to change out the rear part of the motorcycle, so you
Mhm.
could have a two-up, like you know how like a receiver hitch slides in and you stick the pin in, then you plug
Mhm.
in the, you know, right? So imagine like a rear subframe that could slide in and you just plug it in. Now the brake lights work and, you know, and everything else works, and it's you know, it's a two-up bike, and then you do the same thing on the front, and now it's a touring bike, and you know, or it's a drag machine or whatever, right? You could literally like clip, you know, different accessories on the front and back, and within minutes you could change your motorcycle. So
George says we need to bring you back on here, but add some alcohol to it.
you can't see the IV drip, George.
he's got IV. Oh man, it's freaking great. Thank
Well-
you. He gave us a ton of names to ask to get on the podcast. It's going to be freaking. I'll tell you what our timeline is. Let me go and stop this timer here real quick and go to the next screen. But next week, as you guys know, we were going to go to the King of the Baggers. We still are planning on going to King of the Baggers, but we're going to probably just go for a day unless Rumble and Growl's going and his team going. We'll figure it out. But Indian kind of changed some destination plans on us, so we'll have to redo our plans. But other than that, we're going to be at the King of Baggers on Saturday, almost 100% guarantee. Sometime that day, either it's going to be really in the morning, and then we'll be leaving around right after the race is done. We'll probably be going straight home unless Rumble and Growl and all them are here and they want to go out to dinner. We'll go out to dinner with them. That'll be pretty cool. And we'll get home around 1 o'clock in the morning, but we don't care. We're going to be hanging out with some people. So, and then after that, I will be working for 5 days, and then we will be leaving Friday night to go to Sturgis, and we're going to be running freaking like a scalded dog out there, maybe to a iron butt. But at this point right now, with my kidney stone causing issues, I have to go in surgery again on Monday. This is the third surgery for this freaking kidney stone.
Your little friend.
My little friend
Hey,
called
third time's
Sue.
the charm, man.
Oh, jeez.
Sue, yes, and that's Connie's middle name, Sue.
Yeah, I got your Sue
So
right
I
here,
wanted
buddy.
to make sure that's clear to everybody. But yeah, we'll be out there. If anybody's going to be out there, please come and say hi. You know, we're not going to be shy. We got tons of these things. We got tons of these poker chips coming. We got tons of freaking stickers. We got tons of. If you want to buy merchandise, you can buy merchandise, but we won't have it there. It's going to be because we don't have the holding capacity to do that kind of stuff. But it's going to be great. It's going to be a great event. We're going to be doing that. And then we're going to do Jack Daniels a couple weeks later. So
Yep.
exciting
So
times.
Rumble
yeah,
Growl,
and actually,
yes.
actually on Friday I leave after work. I'm riding down to Maggie Valley, so I'll be at Maggie Valley this Saturday, along with Bitey Snatcher. So we'll be going through the museum if anyone's going to be down there this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Go
you
to the
see me
museum.
running around. Say hello.
That's one thing I want to get that guy on here too. The guy from Wheels of Time. That'd be freaking awesome. Get him on here.
Oh,
He's got
sounds amazing.
lots of freaking
Yeah.
stories. But Robert, I mean, you're gonna have to come on here again. We'll give you some Coke and Jack or whatever you want. We'll send you a bottle. These guys got a whole mess of them. Matter of fact, I got a whole mess back here
Yes, you
that I don't
do.
even drink.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I got Eagle.
My
Red.
doctor said no more drinking for a while, so there you go.
I got some
Just like the
Taylor.
kidney stone story. But you know what? The best thing about motorcycling is renewing old friendship, and it gave me a chance to reach out to Robert
Mhm.
and renew an old friendship. So, Robert, good seeing you, buddy. Stay in touch.
Hey, you guys are doing great stuff, and a conversation around motorcycling is something that needs to happen every single night. And I appreciate your work and what it takes to get this job together. Chris, I recommend you ride a rigid mount Sportster with one of the spark plugs pulled. That will take care of the kidney stone.
Okay.
You know,
Woo!
consider
Oh, man.
wearing a large catheter
You'll
and
be
just
peeing
piping
blood for a
in a
week.
lot of water on the way in. My dad was a urologist, so
Uh-huh.
I'm sure that's exactly what he
Mhm.
would prescribe to
Yeah.
a biker. So
Yeah,
It'll
so
be fine.
Tim Arnold is asking if I'll be at Wheels Through Time. Tim, yes, that's the game plan. I'm going to meet for breakfast, actually, there in Maggie Valley. And then when the museum opens up, we'll be at Wheels Through Time.
Robert, how long are you going to be in Illinois?
Oh, I have to get back to Texas by the beginning part of next week. So I am I haven't signed it yet, but I will be in Sturgis, fellas, and I am looking forward to being up there. Yeah, yeah.
Freaking
I
awesome.
wasn't planning on going unless somebody was going to pay me, and apparently somebody's couch has just a little extra change in it. So I think it's going to work out, and I think I'll be in Sturgis for a few days doing some cool things with some cool people.
Well, let us know where you're at. Maybe we can meet you in person. I would love to do that. That'd be awesome.
I'm waiting for the agreement to get signed before I
got
say
you.
anything
Yeah, that's
publicly.
what I'm saying. You got you. Just let us know. Let's see here, because Rebel and Growl is in Chicago, and he's
cool.
He's a big shot around there, I guess you can say. So maybe he I don't know if he was asking for something, but he owns a couple of restaurants. I can tell you that much.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm going to go down to the northern end of Chicago area to meet a buddy of mine from high school who's a musician. So I can't wait to catch up with him. And then there's a particular motorcycle that's interesting in Chicago that I might buy that I can flip down in Texas. So
cool.
Maybe I'll be around a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, he owns the Fox and Fire, which is a
Foxfire.
a Foxfire. I'm sorry, I don't know why.
Oh, Foxfire. That's my
Steakhouse.
sister's favorite in
Yeah.
Aurora.
I believe
that
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, I've been there. I've definitely had some whiskey there. You bet. I'm gonna come see Atika on that's my sister on Saturday. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday, and then I'll press on. So I love Foxfire.
I think it's
Big
called
plug.
Geneva. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
What's that?
Oh, Geneva. You're right.
Yeah,
It's in
Geneva,
Geneva.
Illinois.
Well, there,
That's right.
damn, this is a small town, man. There we go. It's freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Rumble and
Mhm.
Growl,
Hell yeah.
man.
How about that?
Yeah, so you probably know his name. He's in secret right now with his YouTube. Yeah, Geneva, exactly.
Yeah.
We were planning on going there. We will probably go there sometime this year, but this kidney stone has drive me nuts where I couldn't move the last couple of weeks. But yeah,
Oh, I don't want to hear you whine.
yeah.
Because BJ on the Bay,
Mhm.
he had 17 in 3 years. 17 kidney stones, baby.
Did he have one 9 millimeters?
I don't know.
Well, that's what the problem is. Just
BJ
kidding.
on the Bay.
I've been
what do you
shooting.
think?
I've been shooting bullets this last week. All right. Well,
you
thank
just
you.
need you need a bedpan bar stool. That's what you need.
Well, then somebody else had a good.
What's that?
Somebody else has a reverse osmosis water filter. He says, not sure if that will prevent kidney stones.
They say drink lemon and water in the morning, and it kind of prevents them. So
It
yeah,
wouldn't hurt, Mike Skidmore.
I might start that.
Mike said that. It wouldn't hurt. to
We
try.
have a bunch of our fans are the best. They come in here every week. They don't get tired of us, which is really good. I thought they got tired of the Thunderstroke thing, but they still haven't. But
Most of them still ride Thunderstrokes, dude.
I know I'm just giving you a dig for there.
Jeff Maxwell will be at Foxfire Thursday night.
Oh yeah, free.
Yeah.
There
Awesome.
you go.
Damn. I'll tell you what, we got a lot of friends everywhere. We'll see you guys out there in Sturgis, and hopefully we'll see possibly you. And we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Well, look at it. The darn credits are already started. I didn't even put them on.
Yeah,
Dang.
eat less red meat, they say.
Yeah, good luck with
Namaste,
that, boys.
everybody.
No, I'm not.
Peace.
You can just stay on here if you don't mind, and the screen will go black, and then we'll have a little closing. They won't be able to hear us anymore, but everybody, let's start some music here. What songs should we start tonight? What do you think? Let's see here.
You got Ava Dancing Queen queued up.
I could do Legends. Yeah, let's just go with the Legends.
How about
Never
Mustang
Die.
Sally?
We'll just do Legends Never Die.
Namaste. Namaste, everybody. Peace.
See you, everyone.
Thanks
See
for
everybody.
being here.
See you guys. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. I mean, that's what we ask for every time. Please do. I'm begging.
Thanks, Golem.
I can't hear. I can't hear what he said. What he said something about thunderstroke. Thunderstroke.
Golem.
I think he said. Can you quit talking? It's muting you every
I don't
time
know
you say
yet.
that.
You muted him, so I couldn't hear him.
I know. I can't hear him at all.
Here. There you go, Chris. Right between those lines.
Sign language.
All right. Wah!
Oh my gosh.
See you guys. Have a good night.
See ya.
Thanks,
Peace.
everybody.